morning, Newton North. I'm Haley Best.
And I'm Mauricio Ridavald. Welcome to this episode of the NN Update.
As we turn the corner on spring, the end of year finish line is in sight. While we're all speeding towards the summer, at Maudeville Hobby, slot car racing takes them back in time. Reporter Sarber Paker tracks this story.
Great place to come and play with little toy cars and compete and have a good time. You can go as fast as you want or just putt around the track and have a good time.
In Ashland, in a plain-looking warehouse, lies Maudeville Hobby, a slot car racing joint bringing together friends and family over this old hobby. Richard Payne, the current proprietor, enjoys keeping the doors open and the cars revving.
Roughly 3 inches wide, 4 inches long. It's got an electric motor in it. In slot car racing, it's got a guide that goes into a slot car racing. Most of the time, slot car racing is done by the number of laps in a certain length of time.
Richard has always been a racer. He started as a customer in the 1970s when he and his two friends from high school would drive down and race.
I got hooked and I never really left. In 1990, the gentleman that owned the track wanted to sell it. I decided I'd buy it because I didn't want it to go away. I enjoyed too much seeing the fathers and sons come in. I enjoyed too much the competition and the races that we were running at that time, and here I am.
Richard doesn't just do it for the races. He enjoys seeing people light up like they were children again.
I mean, right now there's two gentlemen on that track over there. They haven't stopped smiling since they came in. They haven't been slot car racing for probably 30 years.
People don't just come for the nostalgia, but to create new memories as well. Nick Ball, who started by just wandering in, is still coming back to this day.
I keep coming back because I like the people that come here and it's fun. This track used to be on the other side of town. It was only a half mile from where I lived. My kids and I went over and we started going pretty regular, and one of my sons started racing. You know, he got into building cars and we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time in this building.
Even though constructing your car takes time and effort, it isn't for nothing. Making one may seem simple, yet there are many components to making up a slot car.
It takes time to tune the chassis and pick the right tires. I mean, there's a lot of little things you don't think about when you start that you end up learning as you go along that make you a more proficient racer.
While building your own car can be fulfilling, it can also get expensive. Renting can be a great solution to get into this hobby.
I have rentals. You can come in and rent cars, or you could buy one if you want to. The cars I sell are generally faster than my rental cars. The nice thing is it's a whole lot cheaper than one you drive out in the street. The other nice thing is the police don't care how fast you go. The insurance companies don't care about surcharges or accidents.
Be sure to swing by Maudeville Hobby and try to race for yourself. In Ashland, this is Sarper Paker.
Wow, slot car racing looks like a great time, and you don't even have to worry about passing your driver's test.
To change gears, artist Nathan Sawaya is creating impressive works with an unusual medium, Legos. He believes that building with these bricks is no game. Ruby Metcalf brings us inside the Art of the Brick gallery, where these stunning sculptures are on display.
Good morning, Newton North. My name is Ruby Metcalf, and today we're on Newbury Street in Boston to check out Art of the Brick. Let's look at some art made from an unusual medium. Art of the Brick is a pop-up gallery in Boston created by Nathan Sawaya, a world-renowned artist based in the West Coast. While he originally practiced law, he left his corporate career to pursue his artistic desires. After practicing with many typical art forms such as clay and canvas, he turned to Lego as his primary medium, eventually realizing he could turn his hobby into a career.
Could I create sculpture using Lego brick? And eventually it started taking off. I was getting commissions from folks all over the world, and I realized, wow, there's really something to this.
Was there any specific point that you can pinpoint that was just like, I could do this professionally?
The pinpoint would be when it was my website actually that crashed one day from too many hits. I realized, wow, there really is a market for this.
Even with his growing popularity, not everyone was excited to be introduced to Nathan's work. Many skeptics and wary patrons of the art world doubted the legitimacy of using Lego as a medium.
Entering the art world using a children's toy as my medium, because I didn't get taken seriously very well. Early on, I would go to galleries and they would kind of laugh and say, "Oh, you make art out of Lego. What do you do? Toys, or little trucks, trains, castles?" And it took a while for the art world to really understand that I was trying to take this medium into a different place, put emotion into the Lego brick, create human forms expressing things.
Contrary to the opinions of some critics, putting together a sculpture made from Lego is no child's play. Hundreds of hours of meticulous work goes into each piece. His largest sculpture, an 18-foot dinosaur skeleton made from over 80,000 bricks, took an entire summer to craft. The tiniest mistake could be detrimental to the outcome of a statue.
They're going to be days worth of work, weeks worth of work, sometimes months worth of work. And so what that means is, while I'm working, I'm gluing every brick together. A little bit of glue on each individual brick because I want these sculptures to stay together. And so what that means is when I'm working and I make a mistake, I have to hammer and chisel the Lego apart. And so that can be very, very frustrating. It can be heartbreaking.
Nathan's heartbreak and anger that comes with having to destroy a work is fueled by nothing but love and passion for his craft. The positivity that Nathan's art brings is palpable within the exhibit.
Seeing all the guests' faces when they see the art, when you're really inside the exhibit, and talking to them about some of the things that we learned about the art and the artist, but especially the little kids' faces when they see the dinosaur that's upstairs. They lose their minds, and it's my favorite thing. They're so cute.
I don't know if there's anything I can call my favorite. How do you pick a favorite child?
Yeah.
I'm putting my heart and soul into every work. I think the piece, and maybe you were alluding to it, is the piece Yellow, where it's a yellow figure tearing its chest open, has become the most iconic piece that I'm associated with. Mm-hmm. I do get contacted about that piece more than any other work I've done. It speaks to people. People have different interpretations, and I think that's kind of cool.
We had such an amazing time here at Art of the Brick. Be sure to get your tickets here until April. From NNTV, this is Ruby Metcalf.
If you're interested in seeing these creations in person, Art of the Brick will be open until the end of April.
If you're looking for a new hobby to take up this spring, maybe consider renting chickens.
That's right. Emma Paseggio brings us to Rent a Dino, a Newton business where you can bring these feathered friends home and have a farm-fresh egg straight from your own backyard.
Newton residents Christopher and Andrew Toole house a flock of chickens in their very own backyard and have created a bird business. Not only do this father and son sell eggs, they also rent out their chickens to other families in the community.
We give people everything they need to get started, everything from food to scratch to feeders to waterers, the whole lot. And we're available all the time. For kids, it's easy. Anybody, pretty much any age, can take care of them. They're not hard to take care of.
So you just kind of pour it like that?
When they began renting out chickens in 2020, Andrew used his chicken knowledge to name the business Our Dino Farm.
Kids like dinosaurs, right? And chickens are the closest relative to the Tyrannosaurus rex. So, hey, that can be a cool thing.
Obviously, dinos are extinct, but now their chicken descendants are in danger too. Poultry chickens are getting the avian flu, which has led to an egg shortage nationwide. Newton North teacher and former chicken owner, Mr. Hess, is observing the effects of this flu.
What used to be an economical meal is now kind of pricey. It's $6-7 for 12 eggs, so that's kind of hard.
The average American consumes 279 eggs per year. With the egg prices nearly doubling, renting a chicken for its eggs is financially beneficial. Beyond this, chicken renting is also sustainable and educational.
It's a great way to, instead of composting your kitchen scraps, feeding them into the chickens and letting them create eggs out of kitchen scraps is great. It's an attractive thing for people to check out, but it's also an education thing.
Having chickens encourages learning, but for Christopher, they're not teachers, they're entertainers.
That's actually the number one thing, is it's chicken TV. You sit there and you watch these things, they're very entertaining. And if you take a different angle, you're gonna see a whole different thing going on.
It's very fun to have chickens. They're not a hard animal to take care of. As long as they have the education to keep them safe, it's a great way to have fresh eggs and kind of learn a little bit about where your food comes from.
Consider taking advantage of an excellent opportunity by renting a chicken through Our Dino Farm. Visit ourdinofarm.com for more information. For NNTV, this is Emma Paseggio.
Thanks, Emma. It seems like raising chickens can not only save you money on a delicious breakfast, but provide entertainment along the way. As St. Patrick's Day approaches, we were lucky enough to visit a beloved establishment, O'Hara's Food and Spirits. Reporter Sean O'Neill shines a light on the warm community this restaurant has built.
O'Hara's is a staple for the Newton community. Walk in any Thursday night and you'll be greeted with warm smiles, more pot pies. At the center of it all is Carl O'Hara and the O'Hara family.
I like to walk in when it's a full restaurant, it's got a vibrant crowd, everyone's happy, everyone's having a good time.
But it wasn't always the hub it is today. 37 years ago, it was just a dream of Carl and his older brother John.
He was very good at what he did. He was very community oriented. He volunteered a lot. Absolutely has always been a motivation to me.
When John was laid off from his 9-to-5, he borrowed money from his dad and opened O'Hara's in 1985. Once Carl finished college, he quickly partnered with his dad and older brother. The trio began working together.
Obviously, it's challenging working with your family, but yeah, I would say we were all very close.
Today, that familial bond can be felt throughout O'Hara's. There's a special connection between the staff and customers.
We call ourselves a dysfunctional family, but yes, we all would do anything for each other. The restaurant's a home away from home.
In 2003, they opened Patty's in West Newton and infused it with that same O'Hara charm. Over the next 10 years, the O'Hara brothers continued to provide a home away from home for patrons. But in 2014, their world was flipped upside down when John was diagnosed with cancer.
People were nervous and concerned, but when it happens for 5 years, they watched, unfortunately, his health disintegrate. They knew something was wrong, they just didn't know how bad it was.
He continued coming into work regularly and fought his hardest. But on December 28, 2018, John O'Hara passed away.
We live across the street from each other. We were best friends.
John's legacy is now carried on through his daughter Amy and his son Patrick, who began working full-time around when John was first diagnosed.
It was challenging, but a lot of the people that had been here and knew me were very kind and worked with me.
Although John has passed, his laughter, bright smiles, and kindness will continue to be passed on through generations of O'Hara's.
Patrick, his sister Amy, my son Joe, hopefully we'll all take the restaurant over.
That's the goal, is to keep doing what we've been doing and keep it going for a long time.
For NNTV, this is Sean O'Neill.
I'll have to stop by O'Hara sometime soon. That's all for this episode. If you have your own stories to share, DM us on Instagram at Newton North TV. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
From the NNTV crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.